Hello. So, so the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict is in, and he was acquitted, which is a very good thing. It's like if he had been convicted, then that would mean that nobody has a right to defense. Any mob can attack you, people can shoot at you, and you can't do anything back. I mean, plus it just pisses off all the stupid leftists and stupid people who either genuinely somehow thought that Kyle was the murderer, or just been going along with the bullshit that they know is wrong, or that they don't know anything about. It's like, for me as a leftist, I don't like to see pedophile adults try to murder children, try to murder a minor just because he happens to be conservative. That's not, there are leftists who that's what they signed up for, just murdering all conservatives. Just like, oh, that guy's conservative, get him. The mob attacks. I mean, honestly, Jimmy Dore was defending Kyle, but then he was saying, well, but I also think he shouldn't have took a gun there. But at the end of the day, if he hadn't and even Jimmy admitted this, if he hadn't taken a gun there, maybe he'd just be dead. The right of self-defense is so fundamental to everything. If you take that away, then there's nothing left, really. Certainly not. I mean, some kind of leftism that denies an individual the right to defend themselves when attacked by a mob is a very weird kind of leftism. It's the kind of leftism that is led by right-wingers at MSNBC and CNN, and promulgated by brain-dead shitlib SJWs on Twitter. So everybody's crying, all the stupid pseudo leftists are crying about this, and I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it because I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of these fucking scum clogging up the left with this tribalist viciousness. They hear some story, there's some guy and he's Republican, and there was and he shot these guys, and they don't need to know the details. They don't care that these people that he shot were all attacking him. So I'm a leftist, so, if I was at that protest, I'd be protesting against the police, but I probably would also be against the mob that was chasing this kid. That's not, I'd never gone to a protest hey, let's chase children, let's find some 17-year-old and chase him around because he has a gun and we want to die. I mean, I don't know entirely how that all started, but from what I know, I would say that Kyle did good. He eliminated a pedophile and a wife beater, and fucked up some other lying scumbag. There's always been scumbags attaching themselves to the left, just as there's always been scumbags attaching themselves to the right. There's scumbag right-wingers, I don't know, the people who drive their car into protesters just because they hate all BLM protesters or whatever. Those people are evil, but so are these, people who attacked Kyle and all the people who are pissed off Kyle's not being convicted for this. They're all scum, like, honestly. Like, they don't have morals. They just have a tribe, and all they care is which tribe somebody's in. Like, if Kyle was the one who was Antifa and the 3 guys he shot were all like Proud Boys or whatever, then all these same fucking scum would be like, cheering for Kyle because they have zero morals. And so like I hate those people arguably even more than I hate like scumbags on the right, because scumbags on the left, they damage the left, like, just by their very existence. They sabotage the left. And so there's almost no higher goal for me than, identifying and, neutralizing scumbags on the left. Or scumbags who claim to be leftists. So like, like, fuck those people that were chasing Kyle. Unless there's some secret bit of information that's been hidden from us. But from everything that's known, basically the first like pedophile, whatever, started chasing Kyle for no reason, just because Kyle didn't want him to like light people's cars on fire. And then eventually Kyle shot him after the guy's friend had shot his gun, like, as a quote unquote warning shot. So yeah, anyway, I just like, if that's what left is, like some version of leftism where you just like are a tribe and you just side with anybody on your side. Like, I mean, this is like what the Stalinists did, they sided with Stalin no matter what, and they sided with Hitler too. People forget that like Stalinists throughout the world, even though they were disproportionately Jewish, like certainly in the US and in Europe, they tended to be very disproportionately Jewish, but a lot of them defended Hitler because Stalin had made a pact with Hitler against Britain or whatever. And, and I mean, they were right to know that Britain was an evil empire or whatever, but the fact that they basically sided with Hitler and gave, Hitler a blank check up until when he had a falling out with Stalin, it just shows there's always like people who are willing to like support like anything, anyone, as long as it's seen as like our side against the other side. And so I don't know. I mean, I think it's good. I would like to see, I mean, to a lot of people, like for people on the left, they just believe it's like racist to have a gun. Like, how racist of you to like carry a gun, or like, they just hate the idea of an armed citizen so much. Like, they're so authoritarian that anybody besides a cop having a gun is like unthinkable to these pseudo lefty shit libs. I think everybody should stay strapped, honestly. Like, and this is a good example why, because you never know when some fucking pedophile will try and chase you down the street. So yeah. What else is going on? I don't know. There was a full moon, a lunar eclipse last night. I guess it's like the longest one in 500 years or something. I don't know. And I just saw the movie, the new Ghostbusters. It was pretty good. Like, the last Ghostbusters 2016 was based, like, they based the villain of it on me. Like, the villain was named Rowan, and that was based on me because I got in an argument with like a friend of the writer on Facebook, and so that was their revenge against me, was putting me in their movie as the villain, which I didn't even know about for a while because I didn't see the movie like in theaters. I think, but I saw it. I was just like curious. I'm like, well, I just want to see what they did in this movie. So I got a DVD from the Redbox machine and watched it like in like October or something of 2017, I guess. And and found out that, the villain is based on me, Rowan. He's called Rowan North or something like that, or Rowan Snow. I don't know. Anyway, and then I found an article online where they're interviewing the writer, and she admits like that she based it on. Well, she claims she based it on internet trolls who were against their movie, because the argument I had with her friend was against their plan for the movie, because I thought it was a stupid idea, just trying to do a girl power thing just by doing the same thing but just turning them into girls, like, because that was the 2016 Ghostbusters. Like, they just took like the Ghostbusters and just turned them into females, and they're like, yeah, girl power. And it's just like such a stupid gimmick, like, just make a new thing for fuck's sakes. Don't just like take characters and change them and then call it some identity, virtue signal. And then her friend had told me off as being a sexist for this, whereas it didn't have anything to do with that. It's just like, I would be just as mad if they did this the other way, if they turned like, I don't know, Powerpuff Girls into boys or something. I would say the same thing. But because she like had that in her head and told me off as being like a bigot and a misogynist, I told her off like even worse. And then that was, I think, the basis for me becoming the villain, because they're like, holy shit, this guy's scary. Like, I was like, you fucking dumb bitch. I forget what I told her, but anyway. I have a propensity to like tell people off pretty thoroughly if they deserve it. And but like in that movie, like there's a commentary in the DVD for the extended version or whatever, and the writer herself admits that I basically destroyed their movie. Like, she says like that the villain character Rowan, she like put him in too late and didn't have enough time to really like make it fit organically with the plot, and didn't have enough time to really build up the character enough. So it basically fucked up the movie. And like, she admits that. And she admits in the commentary that I was right and that they shouldn't have done the movie. Or what they say is, well, it's like basically doing reboots like this are it's very problematic, and this is probably the last one I'm ever going to do. So as if to basically say that what I said in the beginning, which was this is a bad idea, I was right. And my character, which they used to try to get revenge on me, backfired on them and fucked up their movie even worse. So this new one, I feel, is kind of cleansing the palate from that mistake. And like, to be honest, like I like 2016 Ghostbusters is kind of entertaining. It's entertaining for me. I mean, partly because I'm in it, but but it's kind of funny. It's like this SNL chicks, and I mean, I guess SNL now has just gone full like political operative tools. Like I don't even know if they have any humor left in them, but at least when they made that movie, it was reasonably funny. Like I lolled. So like, but at the same time, it was a dumb idea. It just was like just taking the Ghostbusters and turning them into women. I mean, whatever, it is what it is. It's just a movie. It's just fiction, but still, I think it was a dumb idea. And this new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, kind of cleanses the palette of that movie because it basically cancels that movie, cancels that timeline by reverting to the original timeline of Ghostbusters, where the Lady Ghostbusters don't exist. And it still has, girl power stuff in it, right? And honestly, like even original Ghostbusters had a little girl power stuff in it here and there. But yeah, this one has it, but without like such a shameless ploy. Like, it actually works it in organically the way they should have done, which is all that I was saying to her friend in the first place on her Facebook post. And so yeah, it's a pretty good movie. The new one, it's like I feel like karmically connected to the franchise now since they based the villain off me in the last one. Like the villain they based on me, like his name is Rowan, and he was exactly my age. Like they found a guy who was born in the same year as me, 1981, and was born like maybe a couple months after me or before me or something. I think after me, in 1981, and is basically the same like height and like build as me, or like roughly same height and build. Although he has more hair than me, which is cool, I guess, and his hair is like curly. But other than that, it's like pretty good. And they seem to have him say stuff that I would say. And he was a scientist like me, who's into like ancient stuff and studying the afterlife and all this. So it seemed like they even might have quoted things that I had said on Facebook and like, but so I don't know why there's all this glare in the. I guess is it from here? No, this is from the phone. All right, so that's good. We won. We beat the SJWs in court, and we beat them in Hollywood. Hopefully this movie will do better than 2016 Ghostbusters did, which was like complete flop because they treated everybody how they treated me. They just shit on anybody who criticized them in any way and said, you're all like misogynistic pigs and scum and Nazis and white supremacists or something, you're all Trump supporters and you're all deplorables and whatever. And so, but most people who even cared enough about, like, who even gave a shit about the franchise at all, of the Ghostbusters, basically were against that movie idea, I would guess. So they basically shit on everybody who actually supported the franchise. And so those people shit on them back by not watching the movie. So it was like complete flop. I think it lost like at least $17 million. Maybe it was more, but I know it lost like millions of dollars. I think it was considered to be one of the biggest box office like flops ever, and it became the most downvoted YouTube video in the history of, or at least for a movie trailer. It was the most downvoted movie trailer in YouTube history. So, that's why YouTube is trying to get rid of the downvote, because of stuff like that. But, so this movie is kind of like, I feel like in some way we could take it as like an apology to the fans. Like, we got shit on by this stupid like 2016 movie, and now this is a one to say, sorry guys, here's the real thing. I mean, who knows? But that's how I kind of take it. I take it as a victory, and kind of by virtue of its existence, it kind of cancels the 2016 movie's timeline. So yeah, today this is a good week for owning the pseudo left, SJW shitlibs in court and on the silver screen, and yeah, stuff like that. All right, so it's only once we can defeat the fake left that we can like create a real left. You can't have a real left when it's constantly being sabotaged by fucking scumbags. So, hopefully these are good signs of progress and possibility. All right, so I guess I'll just leave it there. Yeah. All right, take care. Solidarity.